the end or a new beginning. A fateful encounter. Gi-hun, also known as player 456, slumps against the window of a nearly empty train, his gaze lost in the blur of the city lights. His red hair, a stark contrast to his weary face, falls messily over his eyes. The weight of his past lingers in every heavy breath. A soft voice breaks through the hum of the train. "You look like you need some luck." He turns his head. A young woman, Min Seo, slides into the seat beside him, holding out a tiny pink umbrella keychain. Her fingers are slightly worn, the kind that have known hard work. Gi-hun hesitates before chuckling weakly and taking it. "Luck? I could use a miracle." Min Seo grins. "Then hold on to it." Echoes of the game. Inside the cold, towering dormitory of the Squid Game, Gi-hun sits alone, the screams of fallen players ringing in his ears. His fingers curl around the pink umbrella keychain in his pocket, gripping it as if it's the last tether to his humanity. "You look like you need some luck." Min Seo's words echo in his mind. A simple kindness in a world built on cruelty. With each brutal round, as players drop one by one, the tiny keychain becomes his anchor. A reminder that somewhere outside these walls, kindness still exists. A debt repaid, the blood-stained memories haunt Gi-hun long after the game ends. The pile of money sits in his account like a taunt, a cruel prize for surviving hell. One evening, he finds Min Seo's tiny shop, tucked in a quiet alley, on the verge of closing. He watches her from a distance, her weary sighs, the way she meticulously arranges her handmade keychains, the hope in her eyes dimming day by day. That night, an envelope slides under her door. Inside, stacks of cash and a simple note. "For the girl who gave me luck." Tears well up in Min Seo's eyes as she clutches the note. "Gi-hun," she whispers into the empty night. A chance at something more. Days later, she spots a familiar figure outside her shop. Gi-hun stands there, hands in his pockets, a small smile playing at his lips. Dangling from his fingers is the pink umbrella keychain. Min Seo lets out a soft laugh. "Told you, it was lucky." For the first time in a long time, Gi-hun truly smiles. They walk side by side, the weight of unspoken words hanging between them. Their hands brush occasionally, neither of them pulling away. "So, where have you been all this time?" Min Seo finally asks. Gi-hun exhales, trying to figure out what to do next. Min Seo nudges him playfully. "How about starting with dinner?" Gi-hun chuckles. "Sounds like a plan." The pink umbrella keychain sways between them, a symbol of second chances. Shadows of the past. As they eat in a small restaurant, Min Seo notices Gi-hun's distant gaze, the way he fidgets with the keychain. "You never told me what happened to you," she says softly. Gi-hun hesitates. The weight of the truth presses against his chest. But for the first time, he doesn't want to bear it alone. In a quiet voice, he tells her everything. The games, the deaths, the betrayal, the nightmares that refuse to fade. Min Seo listens without interrupting. When he finally stops, she reaches across the table and places her hand over his. "You survived," she whispers. "That means something." For the first time, Gi-hun feels the weight on his shoulders lessen, just a little. A warning from the abyss. One night, Gi-hun's phone rings. The distorted voice on the other end chills him to the bone. "You should not be looking into the past, player 456. Min Seo finds him staring at his phone, his face drained of color. "They're watching me," he murmurs. Min Seo grips his hand, her eyes fierce. then you're not facing them alone under the moonlight, a silent promise. The choice Gi-hun stands at the airport, a one-way ticket in his hand. He's supposed to leave, to run from the past, from the nightmare that refuses to end. Then, through the crowd, he sees her. Minseo stands at the entrance, holding up a second ticket. Her eyes, unwavering, lock onto his. Where you go, I go, she says. Gi-hun looks down at the ticket in her hand, then at the pink umbrella keychain dangling between his fingers. For the first time in his life, he knows he won't run alone. With a deep breath, he reaches for her hand. The doors to the future open before them. The end, or new beginning.